Hello everybody and welcome back to another Mighty Modern. I'm Corbin Hostler, here again with the good folks at TCGplayer, bringing you some Modern, and this week we've got a fun one. Yuta Takahashi made the top 16 of GP Atlanta a couple weeks ago with this Faeries deck, and you know what? I'm giving it a shot, and hey, if you like Faeries, make sure to check out TCGplayer's Ultimate Masters preview this week, just saying. We're up against Affinity here in round one. We'll see what we can do here. Now, this deck is pretty much what you would expect. It doesn't play all that many Faeries, to be honest, but hey, it's got enough. It's got enough to get some work done, including probably the most powerful Faerie of them all, the Tribal Enchantment, Bitterblossom here. Our opponent on normal Affinity looks like actually kind of a slow, well, at least not a blistering start from them anyways. All that said, we will see. We have a pretty slow hand without any removal here. You know, Bitterblossom is very good against Faeries depending on what their payoff card is. If it's a Steel Overseer, well, we're probably just going to have to, cast that down immediately. But instead, it's a Bowmat Courier, which is pretty interesting. But if all that's happening is I'm taking 2 damage here on turn 2, yeah, I'm into that. That seems perfectly fine with me. I'll get to play this Bitterblossom next turn, and at least have some blockers up, and we can go from there. Obviously, the game, every turn the game goes and we don't take a billion damage, just gets better and better for us, of course, with what we've got going on here with these cast downs, Hero's Downfall, Cryptic Commands, etc. That said, yeah, our opponents they're down to 1 card in hand. This is very good for us, I think. About as much as you can hope for being on the draw. There's no way we can mulligan this hand against an unknown opponent on the draw, so it's, pretty nice that actually just going to work out here. Oh, there's our Fatal Push. We do need... I'm not going to shock myself. The life does matter, but it could be kind of awkward. I guess I should get the... island. We'd have to draw one of the other 2 basic islands to get punished. That said, if I just get the basic Swamp here, every land but Mutavault can produce blue, so I'm actually just going to get the basic Swamp. Alright, Bitterblossom down. Let's see if we can untap with it. That's a big question, because if we can, and hopefully we'll hit a land. If we get an untap, hit a land, we can Fatal Push something, we can cast down something. We'll have plenty of options. Oh my gosh, okay. Our opponent has got some spice going on now. Look at that. Pia's Revolution? Are you kidding me? Whenever non-token artifact is put into the graveyard from the battlefield, return that card to your hand unless I have this deal 3 damage to me. Okay, well, I can't say I expected that, but here we are. I mean, I don't know what I'll do. I guess I'll let them have them back if they're just Midnights or whatever. And the Bowmat we've got to get off the field is clearly the most dangerous thing here, but hopefully we'll just hit a land and everything will look much, much better for us. Without a land, it's going to be a little awkward. Oh my gosh, the perfect land even. Sometimes this game is just very, very simple and straightforward. I'm just going to go ahead and Fatal Push this Bowmat Courier now. I guess I'll pay the 3 life for this one. They can have back the rest of those things. Alright, now I can trade my Faerie with the Midnight. Which I guess is what I want to do. I have cast down. I just have to worry about ending the game before we die to Pia's Revolution / Bitterblossom, essentially. I would say that's what this is going to come down to here. But that land was a nice start for us for sure. And you know what? Honestly, I might just cast down the Midnight if our opponent... What the heck? They're playing Claim to Fame? Okay. I guess I'll set a stop on my opponent's beginning of combat here. I mean, this is all... The Pia's Revolution is actually kind of a problem, I won't lie. Alright, what are they going to do here? They're going to fire up the Blinkmoth Nexus? Yeah, we might actually be in trouble. This is actually going to do some work. Oh my gosh, they're going to Fame the Midnight. Okay, sure. This is so rough. Claim to Fame was this is a teched out Affinity list. I like it. This card is scary. This card is legitimately scary right now. Let's see what my opponent does here. I mean, as far as I'm concerned, they can just... Gosh, they get it back immediately? Man. Well, I think I have to kill the Bowmat Courier, take the 3, let them have the Mimknight back. Because, you know, we'll keep pace with the Mimknight just by making a token every turn. It's the card advantage cards I can't let them have. But like I said, that we've got the game under control for the most part, but we do need to find a way to win. So I guess they just get their Mimknight back. This is interesting. I don't know if we're going to be able to turn the corner here, to be honest. Okay, well, hitting the land helps. Not having any, just being able to trade with his Mimknight instead of actually being able to brick wall, it kind of hurts us here. But I guess I can throw the Faerie in front of it, which again just force fields us. You know, we take 1 damage. Then I can Snapcaster, or you can just Snapcaster Fatal Push. It's kind of the same thing. All right, I don't care about Ornithopters. Although the Ornithopters block our Snapcaster forever, this is just truly going to be a problem. I honestly don't know what my plan is. This is just a huge problem. Huh. Okay. Yes. Snapcaster, how do I win? Can I Jace them? Maybe I can Jace them out? I think that might be my line here. Try to not die until we can Jace. This is kind of unreal. I'm just going to lose to Pia's Revolution of all things. And I have to give him this back as well? This is just so absurd. Okay. I actually don't think I'm going to beat this card. Wow. When your removal doesn't do anything, and you're playing a deck full of removal, yeah, that's kind of a problem. Alright, well, I guess we play Jace. I think I'm just going to have to try to Jace them out of the game here, so that's a lot of turns away. And they even get to have a hand to shuffle back in. I don't see any other way in which we're winning, though. Alright, let's Fate Seal him. Hopefully there's a... I mean, there is a land on top. Jeez, it's just... I don't know what to do. I don't know what to do. Guess I let him have it. Oh, I put it on the bottom. Sorry. It's not keep it on top, yes, no. It's put it on bottom, yes, no. Well. You know, next turn I can Cryptic Command to bounce the Pia's Revolution. But I think that leaves me dying to my own Bitterblossom. Maybe I was just supposed to pay 3 life for the stupid Mimknight a million turns ago. I mean, I'm sure there might have been a different way to go through this, but this card is just extremely powerful in this particular situation where I don't have 2/2s. That's the only situation in which it's very powerful. I mean, we have Mutavault now. We can keep Mutavault up. Down to 4. I definitely don't want that. Alright, let's Fate Seal him. I don't have any life gain in my deck either. It's kind of rough. Oh, Galvanic Blast definitely going on the bottom. Okay, well, I mean, we have a plan. My opponent has a couple different options. If they... Okay. All right, I think I have a plan here. I think I'm going to block the Mimnite. I'm going to block this. And then before damage, I'm going to bounce the Pia's Revolution. That gets these two things off the board. We get a draw card. And I think we're just going to try to find a different way to get rid of our Bitterblossom. Also, our opponent doesn't even have the mana to recast this turn, so that's not bad for us. Well, now they do. I mean, at least it slowed them down. We get another turn with Jace. Remember, our Jace is still ticking up. So if we can find another way to not die to our own Bitterblossom here in a few turns, and I think we have a couple ways to do that. We might be able to get there with Jace. No, they can have Mox Opal. Okay, so we will play our Serum Visions here. Neither of those do it. So I'm going to ship both of those. Play the Tar Pit. And I guess attack with Mutavault. I mean, our opponent doesn't have haste. I don't think that the damage is going to matter here, but... well, I guess it does. They replayed this, so it doesn't matter regardless. Well, we've got a couple turns here. The Tar Pit is a way to get through this. We Ultimate Jace in 2 turns when we're at 1. So we just have to find a Snapcaster Mage or another Cryptic Command. So we have some ways to do this. We're certainly not dead. I wouldn't say it looks great for us, but, and hey, if we're down to the last turn, we can brainstorm if we really need to. Come on, deck. Help me out here. It's going to be... If we die to our own Bitterblossom, that is going to be kind of rough, but it's a risk to playing Faeries. Yeah, Field of Ruin doesn't get it done. I've scribed things to the bottom, so I actually don't really want to shuffle, is the thing. I wonder if I just brainstorm now. Maybe I just brainstorm now because I just have to find something. There's a Cryptic Command. Alright, now we're getting somewhere. I've even got a Spell Stutter Sprite here. Alright, this game just turned around in a big way for us, I think. Just going to pass the turn back here. I mean, it's kind of rough taking the turn off there of the Jace, but I think it's necessary. Since this is the important part to not losing the game here. If we can keep our opponent from doing anything too relevant in terms of dealing us, 2 damage over the next couple turns, the Jace should be good enough to get there. Vault Scourge is most certainly going to get Spell Stutter Sprited here. Nice part about this is counterspells work where removal doesn't against Pia's Revolution here, because it has to hit the graveyard from the battlefield. I could make an additional token here. It doesn't really seem worth. I want to have all my mana available next turn, I think. Well, you know what? Maybe going to 1 is just the same anyways, though. And what am I going to do with that mana, really? Yeah, I'm willing to believe that going to the 1's probably the same. Alright. Seal Overseer, huh? You can have that on top, because I will just counter that. Okay, well, we've got a plan. We've got a plan working here. This has been a crazy game. Yeah, your Mox Opal resolves. Now, the Seal Overseer could be a problem if they just do nothing instead, forcing me to bounce my own thing, which is probably what they're going to do. Alright, so we want to return target permanent to its owner's hand and draw a card. Alright, return our Bitterblossom here. Draw a card. We drew a land. Go to our turn. Inquisition, perfect. All right, Inquisition gets rid of the Seal Overseer. It also is an extra turn off. Now, we're pretty safe, I think. All right, get Seal Overseer out of here. Plus with Jace. Now, if they just have a blank on top. Is this a blank? So they return whatever, and I block everything? I don't think they want them to have counters, but I also don't want them to draw. I have this removal spell as well. I think I let them have that. Because if they play it trying to win, we have blockers. Let's see, I don't know if the last time I actually read a Jace Ultimate. Let's make sure I get this right. Exile all cards, so they're going to lose. Yeah, so if they cast this, they're going to lose on their draw step. So I'll just let them have it. Because I should be able to beat that just with what I have on board. What a crazy game. This is just game one, too. What a crazy game. All right, pass the turn. I don't know if you'd have had any games like this at the GP, but this was a fun one for sure. Definitely an enjoyable one to play out here. All right, let's see if my opponent goes for it. I mean, I have the Mutavault. I have the Mutavault to block. I have the Hero's Downfall. You know, even if they get the Seal Overseer and give it haste, putting counters on these three things, I just chump block them all and then kill them. So, yeah, don't think they have any path to victory here. And then we get a sideboard. Not that I think our sideboard is loaded up with anti-artifact cards, but if we can dodge these stupid Pia Revolution, this game would have just been a breeze, you know? So we'll see here. The Claim to Fame is kind of nice, too, for them. All right, looks like they are going to go ahead and cast it. Bring back the Seal Overseer, sure thing. And if they just go to target, I'll just Hero's Downfall it anyways, so it doesn't matter too much here. I don't know the last time I ultimated a Jace. This is going to feel good. I'm sure our opponent's going to scoop when they go to Fame the Steel Overseer and I kill it, but it's still going to feel good. You know what? It counts. It counts. I'm counting it. I'll even let you have it back in your hand. Which, to be fair, they can just hold it so they don't just die to Jace, but I mean they still just died to Jace in that circumstance. What a game! What a game one here. Yuta Takahashi's Faeries list, taking it down. I had to work for that. This was not easy. This was pretty wild, to be honest. But we are going to get to Ultimate Jace. That'll send us on to a game 2. All right, there we go. Exile all cards from your library, please. Get rid of them all. And no, I'll just let you have the turn after that. Wow. Okay, on to game 2. What a game. Engineered Explosives, yes please. Damnation, yes please. Disfigure, absolutely. Spell Snare as well. Okay, that's what we want. What don't we want here? Lilianas are pretty terrible in the matchup, to be honest. It's just a lot of expensive stuff already. I wonder if it's correct to shave a Jace. Maybe not. Maybe we can start with a click in here. I love everything at the lower end of the curve here. I'm going to cut a Jace. I'm almost considered. I mean, I kind of want the click. Trades, it's just fine. It's not necessary. Perhaps. We can only make 2 colors with our E. So that's going to be good. Just not good against Pia's Revolution. I don't think we want any of the rest of this. And the gates are, fine. Spell Pierces are, again, fine. And maybe the Spell Pierce is better than one of these Hero's Downfalls. Yeah. Cut another Jace? I'll give this a shot. On the draw especially, I kind of like the idea of just being all reactive, not proactive. And Jace, as a reactive card, not very good. Turn 4, tap out for a Planeswalker against Affinity. Not where you want to be. Drawing 2 of them at any point would obviously be a disaster. So let's just be the all-removal deck here and see if we can either dodge Pia's Revolution or counter it on the way down or somehow try to win through it like we did last game. Well, I'm definitely keeping this hand. This hand is beautiful. against pretty much everything. Even Pia's Revolution, I think we can handle with this one. So our opponent, they mulliganed as well. That was great. Yeah, Modern's kind of crazy right now. I don't know if this is the future of Affinity. I think Hardened Scales essentially supplanted Affinity as your, small artifact creature deck. And it's pretty cool. Atlanta was an interesting metagame. It was pretty fun. I covered the GP. This is the first time I've recorded, live in a couple weeks because I had to record in advance. I covered the GP. I covered the Pro Tour. And both of those were great experiences. It was pretty wild. Pro Tour Standard was a lot of fun. If you're interested, I also wrote an article about a Magic player who has muscular dystrophy who competed at the Pro Tour. It was a very inspirational story. His name was Dustin. Him and his father, Vance, were kind enough to talk to me and let me write about them and share their story. So it's on. It's called Dustin Wade Roberson Pro Tour Competitor. If you want to go check it out on the mothership, it's it's a pretty moving story. So stuff like that is kind of neat. It's always fun to neat in the sense that it's a story that I'm in a position to share as a part of coverage, and that's something that you think about Magic coverage and it's all decks and top 8 decks and what was the new standard stuff and Luis's bluff and the top 4, which I was at the table for because I was covering the match, and all that stuff is great and I love it. But at the end of the day, they always say it's not about the Magic, it's about the gathering, and I think that's true. So it was a pretty memorable experience all around at the Pro Tour. So, all right. Back to this game. Our opponent is just all in on this Bowmat here, so I'm just going to go ahead and Inquisition them now in case they have a scary 2-drop, which Affinity typically does, like that, Arcbound Ravager. We'll get that out of here. Next turn, I can just play Fatal Push on the Bowmat when they enter combat. They whiffed on their draw step, so they're going to get the chance to cash in this Bowmat for 2 cards. But after that, I think if those 2 cards aren't very good, we're going to be in great shape because we have Snapcaster Mage to follow. And even a Cryptic Command after that. Okay, so first things, I guess I just do this probably on their upkeep. Sorry, I actually want to do this in their draw step. Kind of an interesting timing with killing the Bowmat. You don't always do it in this, at this timing, but I want to tie up their mana on their turn, and I want to make them, choose whether or not they want the card in their hand or the 2 unknowns underneath the Bowmat Courier, as opposed to doing it in their upkeep. They obviously just take the 2 and then get a draw up to 3. So this is the best timing for this. And they are gonna go ahead and cash it in. Looks like their hand was a Claim to Fame. Oh, that's actually, well, that's if you're gonna have to discard a card, I guess that's a pretty good one to discard. All right, they hit 1 land. Let's see what else they got. I've got Snapcaster next turn. We're very close to turning the corner here. Oh my gosh, but then we got Blood Moon. We got Blood Moon, and I cannot get black mana with that Scalding Tarn. So, okay, this is the game we're playing now. Not that it's terrible for us. It's not good for us, but it is conceivable that we can beat it. Maybe. We can play our Jace next turn and start brainstorming. That probably helps, certainly. If we hit the... Oh my gosh, the Bowmat off the top is pretty good here. Very good here. We might just get Blood Moon out of this game. I was feeling pretty good about things, but... Sure, they're just going in for... They want the damage here. And you know what I'm going to do? I'm going to block this Bowmat Courier with the Snapcaster Mage. I'm going to go for a no-value Snapcaster Mage to get this off the field, because otherwise, there's a couple reasons. One, we're going to take just 1 billion damage from it if we let it go unabated. Also, they're going to get to cash in. More importantly, they're going to cash in for 1 million cards at some point, and that's terrible for us. But also, it makes sense because what we're going to do is... And they're going to cash in, so we're actually going to keep our Snapcaster too, which is, not irrelevant. But now we get to play our Jace. And start brainstorming, looking for lands. Okay, well, I think I want this Scalding Tarn on top and then the Serum Visions so I can Draw the Serum Visions. Well, okay, I guess it doesn't matter too much here either way. I just want to put back 2 lands. Well, I'm going to draw them both no matter what next turn, I guess, so maybe it doesn't matter too much. Yeah, if we can just find some black mana here, we're going to be set, but that's going to be close. I should have attacked there. Misclicked through it. That's fine. Okay, so next time we're going to draw a land. We'll Serum Visions draw the other land, but then get a Scry a couple times. Or, you know what, if we do untap with Jace, I can Brainstorm and then Scry away cards I don't want with the Serum Visions. That might be the play. Our opponent's moving to combat, so this could work out for us. All right, Vault Scourge in at Jace. Works for me. And they're going to pass. All right, good. So the question is, do I want to Brainstorm now? Do I want to Serum Visions? It's the same thing. I think I want to Brainstorm so I can get rid of cards forever that I don't want. Okay, well, those are cards I don't want, that's for sure. I guess I can make 2 colors of mana to destroy the Vault Scourge if I really wanted to. All right, well, Serum Visions. Yeah, those are 2 more cards I don't want. Well, we can't really do anything, but we might even get another turn of Brainstorming out of our Jace if we're lucky. I guess I should go ahead and probably play the E on 2. Nah, maybe not, because if my opponent has a 2-drop, I want them to play it out so we can get it here. And next turn I might do it anyways if it's a difference. Oh my gosh. Wow, I was going to say if it's the difference between having Jace or not, but our opponent just keeps ripping haste creatures off the top of this. Is the 3rd Bowmat Courier of the game here in 14 cards. That is very unlucky for us. That's huge. That means we lose our Jace. You know, we have new cards waiting on top of our deck, but there's just not that many that actually do what we want. Also worth noting that was our only Jace in the deck. Okay, well, you know, this is not where I wanted to be. It's just not. I think we have to pass here. I have to block the Bowmat with my Snapcaster Mage, force him to trade it in, and then hope that our Engineered Explosives will be able to deal with whatever their follow-up is. Like, if we can, we're you know, at least currently, we're still dodging, you know, the scariest cards from our opponent. We're getting all kinds of time to dig out of this. We haven't yet dug out of it, but we're certainly getting the opportunity to. Yeah, it seems, you know, very unlikely for us to lose if we can weather the storm until we can find, you know, either our swamp or our island, and we have Serum Visions to get there. We don't have any more Jaces. It's a Midnight, sure. Don't care about Midnight. Our opponent's just doing nothing here. But we are also doing nothing. These Bowmats have been the only reason this has been close at all, I think. If not for the Bowmats, we'd really be rolling. But, I mean, okay, we've got Hero's Downfall here, which does nothing for us. They're going to claim a Bowmat. Oh my gosh, Bowmats forever. Yeah, it's pretty good in this deck, to be honest. It's definitely not good without the Blood Moon, but with the Blood Moon, it's pretty good. Alright, I'm sure they're going to cash in this Bowmat again, so I'll just go ahead and block. The Claim to Fame is also kind of a nice synergy with the Bowmat Courier. They're really just going to poke us to death. You know, 1 or 2 at a time here. Okay, we can counter a 1-drop. That is better than nothing. And you know what? This trades with the Vault Scourge. So this Vault Scourge is actually a pretty sweet play. Particularly if our opponent tries to cast something here. They didn't, but... I'm definitely down for trading to get this off the board, I think. I was really hoping they were going to fame this. It makes sense that they didn't, but... Okay, so if this works... Galvanic Blast our Spell Sorter Sprite, huh? Okay, well, I guess it wasn't our face at least. Our opponent's out of cards. Oh my gosh. I'm willing to take another hit here. Next turn, I'll play all my Engineered Explosives. I mean, I don't know what the odds are of us actually drawing out of this. We certainly have a lot of, you know, cards in our deck that are not the basic swamp or the basic island left, but you know, it certainly feels like we've scryed a lot and we've looked at a lot of cards and we've done a lot of things to give us a good shot at it. And we just haven't been able to find it to dig out yet. Well, my opponent's just doing nothing. Snapcaster Mage Serum Visions is in play right now. Absolutely, it's in play. I am down for this. And the thing is, I actually don't want the Blood Moon to go away because I want them to have these useless lands. I just want to be able to play out from under it. Snapcaster's also a clock. All right, let's see what we hit here. Oh my gosh, that's beautiful. Absolutely beautiful. Both of them just right there. Just like we drew it up, everybody. All right, I think I'm going to go ahead and... Well, I can't actually E for 2 with this board, can I? Play my land so I don't have to discard at least. All right, we got a shot. We have a chance in this game. We get to draw our swamp. We get to kill this stupid Vault Scourge. What? Disciple of the Vault. Okay, what year is it? Whatever, I guess. Guess we'll start by killing the Disciple of the Vault. At least I don't have a sacrifice outlet, I suppose. All right, there's the swamp. Gonna just disfigure this thing now. I don't mind going to 1 life either, or to 5 life, which is essentially 1 here. Oh, there's this thing though. Well, I'll leave myself the option, I suppose. Galvanic Blast is the card we can't beat yet. So that's certainly a thing. But you know, the thing is, I don't think we can beat Galvanic Blast no matter what we do. You know, whether I crack... The only thing this hedges against is my opponent claim to faming this Vault Scourge specifically. But I am willing to take the hit. If they don't go for it, then I'll just take the hit. I'll go down to 5. That's not all that different than being at 6 or 7. And, you know, but it is way different than being at 4, which is 1 Galvanic Blast range out. So after this turn, we can have Cryptic Command up, not to mention all of our removal spells. So this is really, I think, the danger turn here. Our opponent has 2 cards in hand. Now 1 card in hand as they play another land. So they need this last card to be good. Midnight was pretty good. In the sense that if they want to give it haste, they can. And they're going to. And that makes sense. Yeah, well, they're going to do it here. Sure. It lose out on a point of damage this way. I think I just blow the explosives now. It's actually kind of hard to say for sure. It saves us 1. I mean, if 4 is the same as 3, then keeping my own Snapcaster probably has more value because next turn I have Cryptic Command up to tap. This is a big decision point. I don't know the right answer. I kind of feel like the right answer might be to take it to keep our own Snapcaster around. Because next turn I can just push the Vault Scourge. Maybe it's the same thing, though, because we're still going to end up having to trade with the Memnite. I think I'm just going to blow it up. Alright, well, our opponent did what they needed to do, which was get us to 4. So we are in Galvanic Blast range. But now we get to pass this turn up with Cryptic Command. I have no qualms going to 1 or to 3 if my opponent attacks here. And in their end step, I will Snapcaster Disfigure the Memnite. But we have to be able to counterspell this turn or we're going to die. Might still die regardless, but... Alright, well, we're going to get a shot here. Gives us an attacker as well, which we desperately need. Cool. They just drew the actual perfect card to kill us. Well, okay, I guess you can't beat that. we had our Cryptic Command up for it, but we can actually just never win the game because we don't have any other islands in our deck if we don't go for that play at some point. So that was kind of stupid. It's kind of dumb to get top decked out like that, but that's Magic. I'm going to cut this other hero's downfall. I'm going to get this negate in here on the play. I like it a little better. We'll give this a shot. Do I want the other Jace over, like, Maybe I don't want the negate. Maybe I want the Jace. I can get behind this. That was a rough way to win. I mean, we spent so long trying to find those lands. We finally find them, and it's 2 life too late. Or 1 draw step too late, depending on how you look at it. Just rough all around, to be honest. All right, this hand, though, into this, we've got a Serum Visions on 1. I might play it on 1. Yeah, I probably am. I can play this Creeping Tar Pit later. It's not always correct to Serum Visions on turn 1, but in this case where we have a bunch of lands already, I think it's fine. Because we know what we don't want. A lot of times you don't know what you want or don't want with your hand, and it can actually be correct to hold your Serum Vision type spells until later in the game, but I do think that in this particular instance, given that next turn we want to play Tar Pit and Spell Snare, something our opponent does, and then the turn after that have Snapcaster plus whatever, I think it's correct to Serum Visions here. We can just set up the rest of our game plan with this information. So for instance, this island is just all about Blood Moon with this island choice here. I'm actually going to bottom the Snapcaster. I'm going to draw it. I don't want to be just dead to Blood Moon, although it might, the thing is it might still kill us anyways. It was pretty rough to get Blood Moon out of that last game. We definitely weren't losing anything but that card. Now our opponent might have just a great draw here. No, they don't. Okay, so that's good. That's something at least. All right, put our Tar Pit out here. So, we've got everything. We've got everything our opponent can conceivably do covered right now, except for Blood Moon. Damnation will clean up the creatures. We have access to all 3 of our basic islands. If we don't get Blood Moon to this turn. So we'll see. Disciple the Vault, huh? Okay, I hope this is followed by a 2-drop I can Spell Snare, but they just have nothing instead of. Wow, okay. Well, that's certainly a thing. And you know what? I probably should have played Field of Ruin there. Oh no, I hope I don't get punished. I think I was supposed to play Field of Ruin and just have it up in response to a Blood Moon. Fortunately, we're not going to get punished. Our opponent didn't have it. It's perfect. I can Spell Snare the Ravager. Next turn, I can Field of Ruin. Okay, well, I don't have that covered. I mean, I do. I'm just going to Damnation. All right, I think we can assume my opponent would have slammed a Blood Moon if they had it there. It's possible they didn't want to run it into counter magic. I'm not sure. Okay, now I'm definitely just passing. I have Cryptic Command up. I can... This Arcbound Ravager doesn't look that scary right now. Our opponent has, exactly 3 things they can feed to it. It just doesn't seem all that terrible for us. What's my opponent doing in their instep? Anything? Just thinking about Galvanic Blasting me? I will allow that. I am at 14. That life swing doesn't seem quite so bad for us. Getting a little low on clock here. I guess it is something worth considering. But I'm just going to let my opponent move through combat and see what they do, and then go for the Field of Ruin to get our other basic into play. They want to fame that, huh? Okay, sure. Just going to go for the tap down. Well, I want a Field of Ruin, so I guess I just have to let it go. And if my opponent tries to go all in or something to kill us, then I guess I can Cryptic Command and not die. Alright, so they're going to knock us down to 10. They can get rid of 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 artifacts right now, so that, that is kind of a concern. I'm going to slightly deal with that by getting rid of the Ink Moth here. We're not out of the woods, but we're close. Our opponent theoretically won't even have anything to... Sure. That's fine. They're going to sack it to the Arcbound Ravager. Oh, they have another Galvanic Blast? Oh my gosh. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. I think I'm at 1. I think I'm at 1 here. I think my opponent, having that in hand, probably should have sacked sort of one thing to the Arcbound just to get an extra point in damage. Because as it stands, they can sacrifice 4 artifacts to this to deal us 4 damage. But that doesn't kill us. Oh, and my Field of Ruin doesn't do anything. Okay, I see. Well, that's annoying. Alright, well, we'll Damnation, see if my opponent wants to throw away their board. They have 1 card in hand, so I guess it does kind of... it is kind of actually a choice for them whether it's worth throwing away the board or not here, or just taking us down to 4 and being able to produce mana. All of these games have been so close. I'm not sure if I've played, I've played fine, but I don't know if I've played well enough. And it's possible in game 2. Also in this game, I could have fired off that Field of Ruin several turns ago, I think. It does seem hard for us to lose if our opponent doesn't just untap and kill us. Once we have Cryptic Command and Snapcaster up, I feel pretty good. I think this is the right decision for my opponent here. They do 1. They put us to 4. And they get untapped. So they have 1 card in hand. They also have Claim to Fames in their deck, and that is something to keep in mind because claiming back an Arcbound Ravager is pretty terrifying. That said, we are just on the... And that's what they have? Come on! Oh, okay. Fortunately, they didn't have the colors of mana to kill us, so we're not dead. In fact, I can kill this thing, so... Alright, maybe crisis averted. Maybe got a little too overly concerned there. I can just go ahead and kill this now. Our Snapcaster Mage is now a Ambush Viper, for what it's worth. Alright, I can counter whatever they do. If they don't do anything scary, I can just Snapcaster. I guess I care about that. No. Well, yeah, I guess I do. This is where, well, that's not exactly what we want, but it is something, I suppose. We want to draw Jace or something here. Oh my gosh, what a good draw. Okay. Could still easily die, but we've got a Jace working. Do I go for the Fate Seals? I have Spell Pierce, which kind of helps against this. That or Brainstorms. I think I go for the Fate Seal, especially considering the 3 minutes on my clock here. And they can definitely have that Springleaf Drum. Okay, so, all right, we've got a plan. I've got 3 minutes left. If I get quiet to try to finish this, forgive me. I'd like to win this game. So we're going to let that resolve. We're just going to do this again. Mox Opal, you can most certainly have. I will pass a turn. I have Spell Pierces up now. I can Ambush Viper this Snapcaster Mage. We can Jace them again. Hope of Girapur, huh? I guess I want to put that on the bottom. I don't have an answer to it. It flies. It would have haste, so... Alright, to the bottom it goes, I suppose. I think it's also worth noting that I'm not going to attack because of this stupid thing. Our likely path to winning... Oh, no. Most likely path to winning seems to be Jace here, so I think this is fine, actually. Yeah, that gives it +2. That actually doesn't matter. 2 is the same as 4. You know, it's the next one that'll be a problem, but we can probably counter it. All right, here we go to our turn. All right, let's just have something bad on top for Jace, please. Pia's Revolution. I don't think that matters right now. I think you can have that. Yeah, I don't intend on killing anything they do. Same logic applies. I mean, we're 1 turn away from winning with Jace here. I think we're going to be okay. We're going to have basically 1 draw step we need to dodge, I think. All right, this is the big one. Disciple of the Vault. But Disciple of the Vault without a sack outlet. So that doesn't matter, right? Because the chump attack doesn't even matter. I hope I'm not missing anything, but I don't think this matters. They have to... Any artifact, huh? Okay, well that's fine. I won't put any artifacts into the graveyard. From play? Okay. So they can have that. And I'll just pass the turn, I suppose. Yeah, so my opponent draws Disciple of the Vault, plays Disciple of the Vault, gets Jace, and has to win with a Pia's Revolution in their deck. And that doesn't seem like it's going to be good enough. Unless I'm missing some onboard way they have to sacrifice artifacts, I think we're going to be okay. With 1 minute left on our clock. What a game. What a match this has been. All right. Exile your library, please. 1 Pia's Revolution in your deck. I'm at 2 life. You have 1 Disciple of the Vault. I don't think you're going to get there. Wow, what a match. This is cool. This was one of the better matches of Modern I've played in a long time. Game 1 was super close. Game 2, we were almost there. We almost turned the corner and then just couldn't quite get it done. And now our opponent gets to draw their Pia's Revolution, and then they get to die. Wow, what a match. This Faeries list taking it down. All right, just pass the turn back to our opponent, who I guess is playing for the disconnect, but we did not disconnect. We got there. Woo, that is why we play Mining Modern, everybody. Thank you so much for watching. That was a lot of fun. Oh man, I don't know how that speaks to the power of Faeries or not. I do know the Pia's Revolution, which is a terrifying card to have to play against. That's for sure. But I think we played well in Game 1. I think we played well, mostly at least in Game 3. And you know what? That was awesome. Thank you for watching, everyone. Let's try again. All right, more Faeries here, coming off that crazy match. But this hand looks pretty good as well. We are, unfortunately, on the draw. Our hand would have just been so much better on the play. Looks like we're going to get discard spelled on turn 1 here. Yep. Inquisition of Kozilek. I assume that's the end of our Liliana. But Spell Pierce and Fatal Push, not a bad duo of cards to have here. Overgrown Tomb. Could just be green-black. Could be Jund. It could be could be Death Cloud, maybe. I don't know if that plays. It could be any number of things. That's the point. Oh, they took the Spell Pierce. Interesting. Okay. I assume we're getting discard spelled again then. I have to assume that's what that means. There's probably another Inquisition coming here, and they didn't want us to Spell Pierce it to protect something else. That's my guess. But it might just be Tarmogoyf. Who knows? Snapcaster Fatal Push is an interesting... I mean, just leaving a Snapcaster Mage and Liliana is dangerous unless you have a very, very good next couple turns lined up. And, you know, Thoughtseize is a great start, but, I mean, maybe you could just play it around Spell Pierce for most of this game rather than letting us have one of these two. Maybe they just have a third discard spell in hand. You know, maybe this one takes the Liliana or whatever, and the next one takes the Snapcaster. What they take here, of course, entirely depends on their own hand. So, all right. So they take the Snapcaster, and they've got another land. So I'm looking at probably Jund over there. And Liliana could be pretty good. We did lose the dice roll, unfortunately. And now we're going to flood out. Double discard spell when you draw 2 lands off the top. Also a little rough. 3 lands off the top, I believe, is how many I've drawn, actually. Alright, not that that matters. It's Magic. So, alright, let's see what our opponents got lined up here. They are definitely playing Jund. I'm guessing it's going to be their own Liliana. We're going to get into a Liliana fight here, in which I'm not going to be winning. Yep, that is just obviously what's going to happen to us here. Taking the Spell Pierce makes a lot of sense in this world. I definitely, if they just have a, you know... They just had a classic Jund hand here. Double discard spell. On the play, double discard spell Liliana. If they just have, you know, if they've got the Bloodbraid Elf to finish it off, we're going to be in trouble here. That said, I actually don't think I want to do anything with this. I think I'm just going to pass. Which is obviously kind of awkward, but it is the mana-efficient play to get it into play. But I don't want to discard my own Fatal Push and then my own Field of Room not be able to play Jace. What I want is for my opponent to not have everything, and then us get a chance to discard Fatal Push, draw Jace. Or play Jace, and just hope to ride Jace Liliana to victory here. That said, our opponent obviously has a Bloodbraid Elf. They just have an actual perfect hand. And they get a free Tarmogoyf out of it, and we could never had a chance to win the game. Okay, well, sometimes you get Junded out. Yep. Kills our Liliana, which I was trying to be so clever. So clever with. Okay, well, they actually didn't even activate their own Liliana. Let's replace Serum Visions. Oh, you know what? This is something. But do I give up on Jace and go Bitterblossom Fatal Push? Yeah, it might be the only way to win. We have Snapcaster on top. We just let that be our value this game. That said, our opponent also didn't discard a card. They chose not to activate Liliana, which means they probably have removal or something of their own. Or just another... Oh, they just got another Tarmogoyf. Okay. And now they get the free activation on Liliana. But you know what? We have Snapcaster Fatal Push for this. So, we might be okay here. You know, I said we could never win. Obviously, just being a little bit of a downer, just how it feels when you get Junded out like that. But honestly, we might have a shot here. I can trade with the Bloodbraid. I can take 3 with it. Grimflayer's pretty good. In fact, it's incredibly good. So we are still going to need something because I think I might actually have to Fatal Push the Grimflayer here. Because the thing is, at least the Tarmogoyf can be chump blocked. Let's see what my opponent chooses to do on their attack here. We're gonna have to draw very well to get back into it, but I think we can. I think I just have to take 5 from Goyf this turn and hope to draw another removal spell. Alright, so we get rid of the Grimflayer. That's not what we wanted. I can attack Liliana so we don't get ultimated on. Which means the Liliana itself is pretty bad now. I mean, it taxes us every turn, and we have to chump block the Goyf. So, you know, imagine if we had drawn a Snapcaster that turn or something. We could have Snapcastered. I guess it wouldn't even been that good of a Snapcaster. We didn't have a removal spell to get with it, but imagine if we just drew a removal spell there. Then they just have a Liliana that does nothing. And as it is, I'll let this Bitterblossom force field me and see who top decks better. Will be Field of Ruining in there, and you know, they want to make a sack a creature, huh? Interesting, okay. Do I Field of Ruin? I guess they have creature lands. I actually kind of need to save it so we don't just die to that. Unfortunately, we've drawn 2 lands off the top now. I guess I play it so we don't get Liliana'd. Well, we did everything we could, despite our opponent having a picture-perfect draw. Well, this is a pretty good line too, I suppose. Our opponent just having a picture-perfect draw. We actually, you know, put ourselves in a position to be able to win the game. And, you know, unfortunately, once we got to that position, we drew lands and our opponent drew Grimflayers and Lightning Bolts and we died. But what can you do, right? That's all you can do. All right, on to sideboarding games, huh? Vendilion Click, yes, please. Spell Snare, I guess. Spell Bombs? Don't seem incredible. They seem fine, but they do seem... Relic seems good. Get this Damnation in there. All right, what's this look like? All right, things we don't want. The Spell Starter sprites are kind of... They're fine, I guess. The spell Pierces doesn't seem super important. I'll cut a Hero's Downfall. I might cut both Hero's Downfall. We need answers to their Liliana, but maybe I just cut the Spell Starter sprites. Yeah, maybe I don't go for any tempo elements here. I just try to grind. I just try to out control them. You know, we have Bitterblossoms, which are huge in the matchup. That said, maybe the Hero's Downfall isn't needed. Maybe it's better off as a Spell Starter sprite. You know, Spell Starter sprite just by itself on turn 2 can catch a discard spell, so it's got some value. And it doesn't take much for it to be able to hit their 2-drops either. We have a lot of 4-drops here, as do they, but I think it's fine. It would have been truly something if we had beat double discard spell into Liliana into Bloodbraid, hitting Goyf on the draw, or hitting Goyf on the draw there. That would have been quite the impressive comeback by us. Unfortunately, not able to do it. Our opponent's going deep in the sideboard here. I don't know, and this is the thing, I don't know. Tarmogoyf triggers off both graveyards, so Spellbomb is good against the Flayers and stuff, and it's fine against the Goyfs, but you know, I don't think it's great. This hand I do think is kind of exactly what we want. Our own Liliana can go a very long way, especially if we can use these discard spells to strip their discard spells out. And we can. I'll take their Inquisition Kozilek here. All right. This hand might have a shot here. Our opponent's they've got 4 lands, one of which is a Raging Ravine for what it's worth, but we have Field of Ruin. They've got the Maelstrom Pulse, which in theory can take our Liliana out. Wow. Okay. But yeah, I plan on just... I'm going to dismiss this, and I'm going to hit them again. Yeah, they drew nothing, so I'm going to hit the Maelstrom Pulse. That means when we play Liliana and plus it to 4, the bolt doesn't kill it. And then if we hit land, we can just play Jace. And, you know, at that point, we're just going to be in business. So this is a big turn for them. But, you know, even if they have a creature here, we have the Liliana. I'm sorry, the Fatal Push. And that is what they had. So we'll get rid of this Lava Man, which would have been pretty good for them. And, you know, keep in mind, I could have Liliana'd make them sacrifice, but because we know one of their cards is Lightning Bolt, I think that just immediately getting Liliana out of the range of that is very good. So we'll see if they go for the Bolt on Lily here. Alright, so I'll pitch a land. Sure, they'll pitch a land as well. They got rid of their Overgrown Tomb. So their hand right now is Verdant Catacombs, Wooded Foothills, and Lightning Bolt. And we have a Liliana at 4. So this has to be good for us. If we hit land, we can play Jace. If we hit anything else, we should be able to play it as well for the most part, outside of, you know, Cryptic or whatever. Our opponent just did nothing, and we did hit a land. So yeah, this is just extremely good for us now. We get to slam this Jace down. We get to do nothing with it. We get to make our opponent discard a card. I guess I should have. I don't know. They can bolt Jace. This is probably pretty bad. Oh, they didn't, though. They just discarded the bolt instead. But I kind of actually made a mistake there. I didn't get punished for it, but I actually made a pretty big punt. Yeah, my opponent could have responded to us plussing the Liliana to Lightning Bolt our Jace dead. So that was my fault. I should not have given them that window. It would have been terrible for us. Fortunately, they didn't do it, and we got to do what my line of thought was in the first place before, you know, I just clicked before thinking it through, which is obviously what happens to me all the time when I'm recording videos. It's very difficult to do both, play and talk, and keep it entertaining and at a reasonable pace while also playing optimally. But I wanted to be able to brainstorm after I had discarded. All right, well, there we go. The Bloodbraid Scavenging Ooze has arrived. Pretty good for our opponent. The Jace can fall to Bloodbraid Elf here. Just like it's, you know, Shards of Alara standard. This so obviously works out just fine for me, though. I get to play Snapcaster Mage here. Well, I guess I actually just minus Liliana. Well, I don't want them to untap with the stupid Scavenging Ooze either, though. So maybe I just Snapcaster, push this, and then Liliana plus, make them get rid of their card. I think that line is reasonable. Yeah, as a matter of fact, that's definitely what I'm going to do here. This works out for a lot of reasons. Okay, so we're going to Snapcaster, target Fatal Push. If Fatal Push is Scavenging Ooze, plus the Liliana to get rid of their last card in hand in case it's another Bloodbraid. It wasn't, fortunately. But the thing is now, our Liliana is in ultimate range. It's at 6. If our opponent draws land to fire up the Raging Ravine, okay, well, that's pretty good. Okay, I guess that's what's going to happen to us. Oh, some days it's not your day. Talk about Assassin's Trophy, Guilds of Ravnica making an impact in Modern. This game was locked up. We had this game locked up until that happened. Bloodbraid into Bloodbraid. It was just devastating. Bloodbraid into Scavenging Ooze, Bloodbraid into Assassin's Trophy. Kill our Liliana. Just what a nightmare. And I am flood out time. Well, I guess we're playing defense now. I mean, Mutavault can trade with one of these creatures. if our opponents land, we can still Field of Ruin the Raging Ravine. I mean, we're into a top-decking war, but Bloodbraid Elf did things right there that no other Magic card could do. Like, that's a reasonable card to play in Modern. I talked a little bit on this stream even, on these videos, that when Jace and Bloodbraid got unbanned, they've kind of been a package deal for all their lives because they were together in Standard and Jace was incredibly broken, but Bloodbraid Elf kind of held it down. Literally Jund versus, they're going to kill our Snapcaster, okay. Literally Jund versus Jace control, just like you're seeing right here. That was the Standard format, so it makes sense, but, Bloodbraid Elf might have honestly had more of an impact in Modern than Jace. It was certainly true at first. I don't know if it's true now. Teferi coming along meant that Teferi and Jace decks were very powerful. But yeah, so I don't know. But you could make the argument for sure that Bloodbraid's been more impactful than Jace in Modern, and Bloodbraid's the only card that our opponent could have had to get him out of this one. All right, they have nothing, huh? So they probably have a removal spell over there. I'll go ahead and run this Field of Ruin off on this Raging Ravine while I can, since I want to be able to Cryptic Command next turn. And it's pretty bad if they were to, just fire it up and send it in. Alright, I'll take a Serum Visions. Absolutely. Yes, please. Alright, we'll get rid of that, and we'll put that on top. That's the kind of stuff that can get us into the game here. Also, drawing Liliana, pretty good. Well, this is where we decide if our opponent's card was bad or not, and I'm going to go ahead and guess that it was not a card that does something against our hand. I think I'm going to be fine going for this Liliana minus here. Liliana was a very nice draw off that Serum Visions. Alright, so our opponent, if it was a Bloodbraid, if it was a creature, they would have played it. If it was a discard spell, they would have played it. It has to be removal. And if it's Assassin's Trophy, fine, go ahead and Assassin's Trophy me. Okay, well, we're not going to get a Cryptic here. I am going to get a Snapcaster Cryptic, though. Yeah, I think I do nothing with Liliana, as awkward as that is. I don't want to discard my Snapcaster Mage. I need them to fire up the Treetop Village. Alright, gonna get the Cryptic Command here. We actually don't have any removal in our graveyard. It's good to know. Alright, go ahead and crack this. Go get our basic island. Let that resolve. And then Cryptic Command, return, draw. Alright, so bounce the Treetop Village back to their hand here. Ooh, draw Field of Ruin. It's pretty nice when they replay Treetop. Yeah, Scavenging Ooze is a problem. Drawing Polluted Delta also kind of a problem. Well, definitely plussing it now. Yeah, it's kind of a good news, bad news situation here. We can Field of Ruin the Treetop Village if they fire it up. If there's a lot of cards they can hit that pretty much just kill us. But if nothing else, we can chump block with Snapcaster Mage, make them sacrifice a creature with Liliana. But we need them to whiff on a draw step. They've not done that much so far, but that's what we need here. Are you just going to come in with the Treetop Village? Make me not have to chump block? That'd be nice. Yeah, okay, this makes more sense. Send in the team. Alright, so I'm happy to block Scavenging Ooze here. Let's see if they do anything. Yeah, they're going to go ahead and eat something, of course. The thing is they need to eat creatures, so they're kind of... They don't have all that much mana, and they need to eat a creature. So that, some of our spells might actually get left alone here. Okay, this is actually just a Ghost Quarter, because I don't have any more basics to get, for what it's worth. But... it keeps our Liliana alive to make them... I think maybe they didn't have one either. I can't tell. It's hard to tell, whatever. But now, let's see, we hit a spell bomb. All right, so that's pretty good. First things first, I'm going to spell bomb them. That was a great draw. All right, we hit a spell snare. So I obviously have to, it sucks that I have to throw away my Liliana here, but this is the only way we could, you know, we could clear the board, right? This is, now we're back to the top decking more. And we have this spell snare for this Tarmogoyf. The classic spell snare on the Goyf and our opponent. All right, now we're exactly where we want to be. It is a top decking war, and we have the first draw. And our first draw is a good one. Look at that. All right, and maybe it's my turn to top deck out of something. That said, we're still obviously living in fear, just like everybody has since the card's been printed, living in fear of a Bloodbraid Elf right here. Will they have it? Oh, they've got a Goyf. You know what, Goyf? 6/7 Goyf, pretty good, but just going to bite it to Liliana here. All right, so that was a whiff for me. We were able to answer their Goyf. Oh my gosh, that's a good one. That's a good one, though. So I'm going to have to... I have... Oh my gosh, I actually don't have anything in my graveyard that deals with this. Look at that. I have Inquisitions I won't be playing. I have a Serum Visions, which I will be playing in a Spell Snare, huh? No, I mean, not that there's anything wrong with going for the Serum Visions play here. And you know what? The Snapcaster will still block the Raging Ravine. Whew! Get both of those out of here. Alright, play our land plus our Liliana. I don't know if we're going to win. Raging Ravine demands an answer, that's for sure. Doesn't have trample at least, so we've got that going for us. Alright, here it comes in at the Lily? At us? They're attacking me, not Liliana? Oh, I'll happily take 4. Yeah, I will gladly take 4 on this turn. And they whiffed on their draw step. Alright, let's see what we hit. Oh, we hit a Fatal Push. The Dream! The Dream is alive and well. Now, obviously, I can't do anything with Liliana this turn, so it's a pretty dead giveaway to what we have, but we only get punished by... I mean, we get punished by things, for sure. Namely, a discard spell before they fire up the Ravine. But then, nope, they're going to go for it. All right, we might be able to take this down. All right, here comes the Ravine at us. Here comes the Fatal Push on the Raging Ravine. It worked. Okay, so we've got our opponent in trouble here, and they drew another land. Looks like and we drew a Jace. All right, looks like I actually caught the breaks this time around. I like it. That's what I like to see. All right, plus our Liliana here, and Fate Seal. Lightning Bolt, huh? I'll leave that on top. Chances are they're just going to fetch it away anyways. I'm not attacking with... I'm on this Jace plan. They're probably going to fetch away that card. If not, they draw a Lightning Bolt that doesn't substantially affect the board. Yeah. Leave it on top, let them fetch. The mind tricks are real, but in that case, it didn't really matter. I mean, I guess it kind of did. If we assume that their fetch lands are some of the most relevant things they could have, then you know what? It does kind of matter that we did that. You got one of those effects out of the way, so to speak. All right, that's an Inquisition. That does nothing. It's Brainstorm time, I think. Whew, I like that. Alright, Serum Visions put that Inquisition away forever. Same with the Mutavault. Don't think I want it. I think I'm going to Liliana to get rid of this thing. and just trade the back half of it with Kitchen Finks. I'm just trying to grind out value with Planeswalkers right now. Trade my Snapcaster with the Finks, have the Cryptic Command for their spell here, have the Jace that we get on tap with. I think that we just string, and our opponent whiffed, so we just string enough turns with Planeswalkers together, we're not going to lose the game. Alright, just going to go ahead and block there. I think just draw whatever we have on top here. Bitterblossom wins us the game, I believe. Let's go ahead and brainstorm. Well, you know what? They just have actual nothing. Now we have Cryptic. It's definitely just time to Fate Seal them. They are back to 2 fetch lands, but it's just the Jace is just going to be so hard to beat. And I'm just going to discard the Bitterblossom to Liliana. I'm just going to leave up Cryptic Command and just assume that we're going to be able to Jace them out of the game before, before anything else happens. Which is not a guarantee. Again, we live in fear of Bloodbraid Elf, among other things. But, the Liliana helps in this regard. Clearly, the Cryptic Command goes a long way. I think that we're going to get there this time around, barring, double Bloodbraid off the top or something like that. Our opponent's thinking this one through, though. I don't know why. I'm just trying to Fate Seal. I've had a lot of fun with this deck. It certainly felt more like a blue-black control deck than a Faeries deck. Unfortunately, I want to play Faeries. It's basically just a blue-black deck that plays Bitterblossom. And you know what? Things like Spellstutter Spray just have value in the metagame anyways. Excuse me. So it's just a deck. I don't know if it's necessarily a Faeries deck, but it is a pretty sweet deck overall. And I like these games where you have Lilianas and Jaces in play, that's for sure. I have plus more Jace with this deck already than I basically have ever plushed Jace in a deck in my life. I usually just brainstorm to oblivion like most people do. But all right, we'll see if our opponent comes back here. All right, our opponent has returned, and they have an Assassin's Trophy on top, huh? So yeah, I'm going to put that on the bottom. I will plus my Liliana here. This is probably the last time I'll plus Liliana. And maybe I was supposed to play the Bitterblossom there. I'm not sure, but I like having Liliana with the Cryptic Command up, able to use Liliana to make my opponent sacrifice a creature they might draw. And we're really just dead to blood. This is really only bad against Bloodbraids. What I am worried about is, my opponent getting some sort of running burn spells to kill me. Oh, they drew the Assassin's Trophy anyways, huh? Okay, well, I will counter that. All right, counter target spell, draw a card. All right, that's good enough for our opponent. Okay, on to game 3 then. I think I like everything we got going on here. I think maybe a Spell Pierce or maybe a Negate on the draw is actually kind of good. I do think it's good. I'm not sure what it's better than. It might be better than Spellstutter Sprite. On the draw here, I kind of like having the Negate on turn 2 for the Liliana. That said, I have to keep this hand, This hand goes from pretty good if we get left alone to very bad if our opponent has discard spells, and they clearly have the discard spells. But, you know what? Even if they do, Serum Visions does a lot of work to dig us out of it. I have to assume they're taking Bitterblossom here. Yep. Turn 2 Bitterblossom would have been nice. Alright, so I'm going to push the island to keep the Relic on top. Relic seems pretty decent here. Having the Fatal Pushes in the Jace is good as well. So our hand is good against everything but Liliana right now. So, in commentating we call that setting the stage, right? I'm setting it up here. I think we can beat most things our opponent has, but I don't think we can beat this thing. What do they have? Now you got drama. We're looking at their draw step. We're wondering what they're going to do to us. Yeah, I'm going to Fatal Push this. I'm going to Fatal Push this Tarmogoyf. I suppose you could make the argument I didn't actually, need or have to do that because I have this Relic out, but I don't want to crack the Relic. I want to play slow with the Relic if I can. And just make their Grim Flares and make their Tarmogoyfs and such bad. But we don't. We just need. We just need to get rid of that one now. And maybe I could have held off and done it on their turn. I just don't think it really makes much of a difference. Oh, look at that! That's not a Liliana. It is a Thoughtseize though. So our Jace is going to bite the dust here. This is all going to be... This match is going to come down to Planeswalkers. And, the thing is, I think we have, basically the two... It comes down to Planeswalkers. They just have Lilianas. We have Jaces and Lilianas. But then sort of the breakers are, their Kolagon Command and their Bloodbraid Elf. Those things are good against our... Look at that. They're just very good at the game sometimes. I say those things are very good against our Planeswalkers, and they might have one here and punish us for it. But we have Snapcaster Mages, and that's what we have to fight back with. So just going to go ahead and fetch up a basic Swamp here. We'll have plenty of blue sources if we need them throughout this game, I think. Not too concerned about that. But I don't necessarily want to take extra damage. Alright, we will play Liliana and make each player discard a card. Alright, so the scariest thing is going to be Bloodbraid Elf. By far. Our opponent discarded a Bolt, huh? Okay. Yeah, so they could very well have land Bloodbraid Elf in their hand, and that would be very good against us. It would take our, that's the scariest play. If they have, I'm not going to say any other play, right? But if they have other plays, right? Suppose they, have land Goyf or something. Oh my gosh, they have a Lightning Bolt to put the Liliana down. So that's probably fine for us, unless this is Bloodbraid in hand or land in hand. Well, Bloodbraid in hand, trying to draw a land to get us, might have been their line, right? If their last card is Bloodbraid, you pitch one bolt, you bolt this one. If you hit land, you just win. You kill our Liliana, and you probably just win the game from that point. And unfortunately for us, that is not what happened. All right, let's go ahead and keep running it. If that's what they're looking at, I'm going to keep doing this. And then now we have Fatal Push Up. Brutality, okay. Well, I don't know if we're going to get there with this Liliana. They have a lot of draws to get them out of it, but with the Relic of Progenitus to enable Revolt and the Fatal Push in hand, we're pretty good against, a lot of things they might do. And if they just Maelstrom Pulse our Liliana, I guess we're kind of back to square one. I wonder at this point if it's correct to pop the Relic. Probably not. Well, having the Pulse there for our Liliana was a big play. Now we're going to be into this top decking war here. I'm just going to keep slow relicking them. I don't think that drawing a card is worth, making any Snapcasters we draw bad. Because right now Snapcasters is a very good play for us. Kitchen Finks, huh? All right. Well, that's somewhat annoying. We can get it with the Relic, though. With the Relic and the Fatal Push. Alright, but see, there we go. I drew a Snapcaster Mage. That's just better. Alright, so we've got a Serum Visions and Fatal Push in there, so... What's my plan here? Snapcaster on Fatal Push, block, then kill Kitchen Finks in the end step? I guess that's fine. Alternatively, I could have main phased the Snapcaster. I could also just take this, and I could still just main phase the Snapcaster Mage on a Serum Visions, and then block, and then crack the Relic. That might have been better in the first place, to be honest. So I think I'm going to take this hit. I think I messed up. I think I was like, oh, Snapcaster Mage. I'm going to play that at instant speed. Now, of course, there are different ways this could go. Obviously, our opponent could play another creature, and then we play Damnation. Our whole line can change. But I think I was supposed to just main phase that Snapcaster Mage, like I'm going to end up doing now. Then again, maybe we also needed the land for that. I'm not positive. Didn't even consider it really at the time. But I do think I like this player. If our opponent is, not doing too much here, yeah, I mean, Bitterblossom Field of Ruin seems pretty good for us. Yeah, now my opponent attacks. Now we know. Also, now we know we're not drawing another Snapcaster Mage in the next 2 turns. We'll block with the persist trigger on the stack. We'll exile the relic. We'll draw, and we will be able to slam. Well, that just doesn't matter. They actually should have post-combated that, since I'm going to draw a card off the relic. See if they attack. Maybe they won't attack. Oh, they're definitely going to attack. They should. No, really. The thing is it doesn't get any better for you. In fact, it pretty much only gets worse. All right, Kitchen Fink's not coming back. We'll draw our Bitterblossom. Yeah, if they had saved that discard spell for post-combat, they could have got this. Instead, we get to untap at 15 life, and we get to slam a Bitterblossom here. I guess we also get to attack with our Mutavault. I will do it. Sure, why not? It makes the clock a little faster with the Bitterblossom. Alright, I don't know what my opponent's 3 cards are, but if one of them's on a Maelstrom Pulse, or it's not just a bunch of Bloodbraid Elves that can do a bunch of damage to us really fast, this Bitterblossom is going to be kind of rough for them to fight through. They need a big play this turn, and Bloodbraid Elf is the biggest of plays they could have. Unfortunately for them, hitting a Spellbomb off of it, while fine, not exactly what they were hoping for. And they're going to go ahead and bring it in. Serum Visions is a very nice draw here. We drew a Cryptic Command? Yes, please. All right. I kind of like the Inquisition. Kind of. Maybe I don't. Maybe I don't want it. I do kind of want the Mutavault because I think this is going to be a race situation here. I'm going to pitch the Inquisition. I'm going to keep the Mutavault on top. I'm going to, I guess, not attack with my Mutavault because then I wouldn't be able to play Cryptic. I could play a land and still have Cryptic, but I kind of like using my Mutavault to block, to be honest here. You know, the Bitterblossom tokens will win the game. We'll give them enough turns. You know, we know what we have coming. Let's focus on not dying right now. Don't want to get punished, you know, hard by another Bloodbraid Elf either. This has been a great match. Very, very good match. Are they going to Assassin Trophy the Bitterblossom, huh? Do I allow that? I don't think that I do. I don't think I let this happen. Counter draw. Oh no, I didn't have 3 blue. Oh no. Oh no. Well, you know what? I'll have 3 blue after this resolves, I guess. Oh, can I Field of Ruin? No. Okay, well, I guess it's going to resolve then. I certainly didn't think that through, but that's fine. We just have Cryptic Command now, and I can still block the Bloodbraid. I would just draw another Serum Visions anyway. Liliana, great. Love it. All right, Fatal Push. I also like that. I like all of this. All right, so 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. So I can do both here. Play Liliana, minus Liliana on their Bloodbraid. If they try to just fire up the Ravine to attack Liliana, I can just chump block with my token. If they try to do anything else, I can Cryptic Command it. If they do nothing, I just get to draw the card, which is good. So this has been a great match, and I'm not sure that, you know, I'm not going to lie and tell you that I probably played it perfectly correctly, but I am enjoying playing it, which is half the battle, right? Grim Flare, huh? Yeah, that's a counterable spell, I suppose. I mean, maybe not. Maybe I could Damnation it. We're drawing Fatal Push, aren't we? We're drawing Mutavault, then Fatal Push, or just Fatal Push? I don't remember. I think I'm just going to let it resolve. It also doesn't have Delirium, for what it's worth. Alright, we were drawing Fatal Push. I was right. I mean, I'm pretty much not doing anything with my Liliana at this turn, though. I guess I could Damnation. 1, 2, 3, 4. I think Damnation's probably actually better here. Because the Damnation doesn't kill the Ravine, but the Fatal Push does. I could also just fire up the Mutavault. I'm just going to pass. Maybe I just plus Liliana and just get rid of this Damnation anyways. That's what I'm going to do. I think maybe this Damnation is just the worst card we have. And I think, you know, I'm working hard to try to get value out of it, but I think maybe that's just wrong. Maybe instead of trying to get value out of it, I just make them discard an Assassin's Trophy because we're trading our Damnation for something with them anyways. We may as well do it this way, where we get some value out of it, which is taking our Liliana up to make, you know, we can use it to sacrifice a creature next turn. And now my opponent, they play a land. If they just try to attack with Grimflare, I just block with Mutavault. If not, in step, I just take out this Raging Ravine anyways. Still have everything up. You know, my opponent does have the Nighthill Spellbomb they can cycle, but they're falling farther and farther behind. Not to mention that thanks to that disconnect, their clock is causing them some trouble as well. All right, let's get rid of the field. Get rid of the Raging Ravine here while we can. Yeah, they're adding mana. Okay, sure, why not? We're in your instep. And I can still Cryptic Command here if I need to. Well, they are going to do something with it. That or they're going to realize we're in the instep and they can't actually Maelstrom Pulse. One of those two. K-Command, huh? Well, that would actually have been very good. K-Command, get back Bloodbraid Elf, kill Liliana. Unfortunately for them, I think it's probably just going to be a scoop when they get this countered. Counter draw. Hit a land. I'm going to keep this in case we draw Jace here. We do another Cryptic Command, so I'm just going to plus Liliana here. Get rid of the Tar Pit. Actually, I suppose I should actually attack with my Faerie here. We do need to end the game and to something other than Clock. Although Clock's most likely how we're going to win this game. I think we are pretty clearly in a dominating position. You know, Mutavault takes care of this, or a Bloodbraid Elf if they draw it. We've obviously got the Cryptic Command and the Fatal Push. So I'm just gonna, push this Goyf. All right, fire up the Mutavault, trade with the Grimflayer. Well, I'm not even gonna have to use my Fatal Push because I can just Liliana the Goyf dead. Oh, this is what they're going to do? Oh, this actually gave him Delirium? Okay. I guess I'll Cryptic Command. I guess I'll Fatal Push it. Not going to get quite as much value as I wanted. Still roughly infinite value, but not quite as much. I mean, that's sort of that pretty much closes it out, I think, on my opponent anyways. Liliana, you know, they're probably just scoop here because their clock's running out. They drew a Lightning Bolt for Liliana. Well, I'm just going to counter that. Okay. Well, they drew a card off of their... I mean, they actually did a pretty good job getting back in that. That was a nice sequence of draws there. And that's a pretty bad one for us. So maybe the game's not as over as I thought it was. I think I probably missed some Faerie Rogue attacks this game. All right, well, we get in for 3. I mean, the game's actually not over. There was a nice sequence of cards they had there. You know, they drew off the Spellbomb and it was very good. And if this card's a land, so they're gonna die. But if that card was a Bloodbraid Elf or something, we got a game. You know, Bloodbraid into Scavenging Ooze or something, they would have been pretty sick. My opponent says GG, though, so I think that will do it. That was a nice game. Now, would we have won if they had more clock? Most likely. So, you know, it counts, so to speak. But obviously would have liked to have finished the match. But let's see here. Well, you know what? We weren't going to... Our cards were actually unplayable. So, you know, maybe we were going to knock our opponent for 3 damage 3 turns in a row and win. We were certainly going to be plussing Liliana. So the number of cards they could have had to get back in the game at that point are lower because the Liliana's going to be able to deal with some of them. But they're not 0. You know, this Tar Pit eventually would have got there. It just depends whether or not we could have caught something with Spell Slinger. But it would have been interesting. Either way, everybody, that was a great match. We got junted out pretty hard in game 1, but we did manage to fight back and win the other 2. It was a lot of fun. Thank you for watching, everybody. Here we go with some more Faeries. Our opponent leading on a Blackcleave Cliffs Pass, huh? Don't know what that means exactly. Well, fourth land. That's not what I wanted to draw there. But we're going to find out what they're up to right now with this Inquisition of Kozilek. Okay, well, they've got a bunch of land over there. I guess that means Mardu Pyromancer. I assume this is a pretty reasonable matchup for us. That said, our opponent's going to have discard spells of their own, and we have a bunch of lands. So let's see if we can find a Bitterblossom here. And we did not. Bitterblossom would have been just the absolute best card to find right there. Almost impossible for Mardu Pyromancer to beat, especially backed up by Fatal Push on their Pyromancer. So maybe they'll run out of 1-drop here we can get with our Spell Stutter Sprite. No, we're going to get Blood Moon instead, huh? Top deck Blood Moon's going to be pretty hard. Yeah. Oh, tilt. That is a tilter. You draw the Bitterblossom on turn 3 right after you get Blood Moon. Couldn't possibly have lost. Unless exactly that sequence of events happened. I don't really know that we can win this game now. It involves ripping our 1 basic swamp, I think. You know, I guess you could argue that I'm playing against Mardu Pyromancer. I should have, you know, I should have fetched for the basic swamp immediately, but I think once you Inquisition them, you don't see a Blood Moon. Blood Moon is a card that's actually in and out of the deck at this point in time. I don't really think I can feel bad about not, you know, sensing that one coming when I had Dark Slick Shores that, you know, I kind of got value out of playing untapped for the first few turns. Alright, well this one's going to end rather quickly. You know, I guess the good news is right now our opponent has no idea what we're playing. So I guess before I start discarding to hand size, I'll get some more information here without giving any away. I mean, I think Dark Slick Shores is a fairly good giveaway, but our opponent also had to have the basics to go along with that Blood Moon draw. All right, I've seen enough here. Let's just get out of here. Let's play game 2. That was just so unlucky. All right. These cards all seem very good here. I mean, most of our deck seems pretty good here, to be honest. I'm going to cut a couple of the Lilianas. I'm going to cut the... I don't actually know what to cut here. I'm going to cut the Spell Pierce. Maybe I'll play 1 EE. Maybe I'll cut a Cryptic. The other Liliana out of here. Cut the Hero's Downfalls. I don't see things. I have no idea if Liliana's good or not. It's certainly not bad, but their deck plays out of their graveyard very hard and very well. So I think maybe it's incorrect. Wonder if we need all 3 of these. Maybe just 2. I give this a shot. Like I said, that's the thing when you play new decks every week. You're not familiar with the sideboarding. All right, well, I'm keeping this. This one doesn't have a basic island, but hopefully we don't get Blood Moon after our discard spell again this time around. All right, Inquisition. Whew, it's a good hand. Rabblemaster. which I don't currently have an answer to. An Inquisition, which is also going to wreck me pretty hard. A Dreadbore, which is fine. So I think I have to take the Rabblemaster without, you know, one, a guarantee that we're going to have removal in our hand by the time they get to it because of their own discard spell. And also the fact that we don't have Revolt. I think we just have to take this. And yeah, they can get it back with Kolaghan's Command later. And they are pretty well set up to grind out the long game. But, you know, we have some good cards of our own here. Hitting Jace on turn 4 would be a good start. Even if it just immediately gets Shredboard, it takes mana away from them on their main phase. It gets the Brainstorm for us. Or they're going to draw Thoughtseize. I cannot catch a break with their top decks, that's for sure. And now we're just sitting on removal. And hand got a lot worse. Our hand definitely not good against Lingering Souls. Okay, well, the top deck Thoughtseize was pretty rough. Not unbeatable, though. We obviously still have a lot of good draws in our deck. But this is the problem against playing it. They're just the better fair deck. You know, we have some more / different disruption elements than they have, but they're just the better fair deck, and Faithless Looting just being used fairly even is pretty good against us. That said, Nighthill Spellbomb, one of the better draws we could ask for there. In fact, very, very happy to see that, because now I can Spellbomb, and I'm actually going to get everything. I'm going to get the Lingering Souls and the Faithless Looting here, and we're going to get a cycle. So that was a very, very good draw on our part. And we hit a Cryptic. Okay. All right, so our opponent's down to 3 cards in hand. Let's see if we know what they are here. It's a Dreadbore. They've played the Blackleaf. They played the Foundry. They played the Plane. So it's a Dreadbore, a Kolaghan's Command, and one we don't know about, huh? And now they don't even have the Rabblemaster in there to get back with Kolaghan's Command. So yeah, this is lined up fairly decently for us. And okay, well, this Thoughtseize is going to take our Cryptic Command out of the equation, which is unfortunate because it was going to be a good Cryptic Command. All right, Serum Visions, though. They have Faithless Looting, we have Serum Visions. Let's do it. Oh, Bitterblossom. Yes, please. And I will take the other Serum. Wow, and we drew a Jace. So next turn, I'm just going to... Next turn, I'm playing Jace, so I don't think this matters. Assuming we don't get Thoughtseized again. But, you know, we know 2 of our opponent's cards. Just getting a Brainstorm out of Jace is going to be good. This is a turn we want to dodge something too terrible. That's not the end of the world. It is pretty good against us. I'm going to go ahead and fire that off. A little damage control here. Alright, let's Brainstorm. So let's put back the Spell Snare and the Bitterblossom, I suppose. Maybe the Fatal Push in the Bitterblossom. I don't think it matters terribly much here. Okay, well, if our opponent's turn is to flashback Faithless Looting and Dreadbore our Jace, that's not the end of the world for us, because our Bitterblossom will deal with the Lingering Souls over time. We get to, we'll take some damage, but we get a Serum Visions. Okay, good. We get a Serum Visions and have Fatal Push up, so, you know, we're definitely going to take some beatdowns here, but I think that we can turn it around. Alright, now we even have the Spell Snare as well, so I'm going to go ahead and put the land on top and then the cast down so we can draw the cast down next turn. Well, maybe I don't even want... Maybe I don't want the land. I can't undo that? Okay. Unfortunate. Maybe I don't want the cast down then. I mean, I do think that drawing the land is fine here. And I don't know that we need the cast down. I'm most scared... Well, I mean, there's a few things I'm scared of here, to be fair. But we can answer a young Pyromancer. We cannot answer a cast down might have been better than Fatal Push because we could answer a Rabblemaster with cast down. I don't think I like my opponent fetching here in the main phase. That means they probably have something. Oh, it's the best possible card to draw against us. Yep. I think we're in trouble now. I can handle some tokens. I don't know if I can handle this many tokens. Let's fire up the creeping tar pit here, I guess. We killed them in 5 turns. I mean, they've got this Kolaghan's command too. I think that the running, they just top decked much better than us throughout this game. I think maybe you can make an argument I was supposed to bottom both cards there with my Scry, but I honestly think I had everything in this game covered until the second Lingering Souls. The first Lingering Souls, our Bitterblossom was going to answer. You know, we were going to kill them with this tar pit. You know, everything was going pretty fine until we got double Lingering Souls, and I don't think anyone in any grindy matchup in the history of Magic has ever beat double Lingering Souls. So I think our out is to draw running Cryptic Commands here. Darkslick Shore's not doing that, which means we take 5. Not technically dead. Alright, well, we put them down to 9. It's definitely running Cryptic Commands, which, you know, to be fair, we have Snapcasters and Cryptic Commands. It's not unreasonable. We block one of these here, we take 5, we go to 2. Then we have to tap and bounce our own Bitterblossom or something. Don't really think we have a lot of outs here. Damnation is certainly one of them. Engineered Explosives is one of them. The problem is they're not really, because our own Bitterblossom will kill us. You know, they were outs for the last couple turns, but not now, and would might just die anyways here. And they just have the Bedlam Reveler. Yeah, we did not draw better than our opponents. To be fair, I think their deck is better set up for this grindy match, but we certainly did not have any favors done for us there. Oh, that's the way it goes sometimes. That was a good match. Overall, Faeries not taking it down, but it was close. Thanks for watching. Hey everybody, here we go with the deck tech for Blue-Black Faerie. So this is a little bit outside of my wheelhouse, but it's a cool deck. Yuta Takahashi got top 16 with this deck at Grand Prix Atlanta a few weeks ago before the Pro Tour. And you know what? I had some requests for it. It's pretty timely. You should, you know, it seemed like a deck worth checking out. So what do we got going on here? Now, I know we're calling it Faeries. I mean, it is a Faeries deck, but there's not that many Faeries, right? There's Bitterblossom, there's Spellstutter Sprites, yeah, that's it. Things have been doing clicking the sideboard. So that's it as far as Faeries go, unless you count the Mutavaults. But it still sort of plays out the way Faeries always have. It's a blue-black control deck that leans on Bitterblossom to win the games. This is just a great counterspell in its own right. Here with Spellstutter Sprite. So a lot going on. Hero's Downfall, even Flexible Removal. Not a ton of counterspells in this version, just the Spell Pierce here in the main deck, along with the Spellstutter Sprites and the Cryptics, of course. But heavier on the Planeswalkers. Liliana, the Veil, Jace, the Mind Sculptor, Planeswalkers, and Removal. Even 2 cast downs getting in the act here. So pretty sweet deck overall. We get to play Creeping Tar Pit as well. That's a pretty fun one. Enjoy this land for sure. Alright, and it's getting reprinted as a matter of fact. Alright, so onto the sideboard here. A lot of what you expect, you know, Spell Snares, Spell Pierces, Negates, just different, you know, options when you go up against those sort of decks. We've even got Disfigure for aggro here. The Graveyard Hate of Choice, 2 Surgicals, very powerful in this meta, but also, when you can get away with it, Nihil Spellbomb and Relic of Virginitas, because drawing a card is pretty good, and we don't want to hit our own graveyard either, thanks to the Snapcaster Mages we're playing, so that makes Relic a little awkward, but it works out perfectly well with Spellbomb. So that is that. Vendilion Click, another Faerie. We did it. We're playing Faeries here. Damnation and EE Engineered Explosives for the versatility. So that is the deck, everybody. We've even got to play Field of Ruin in this one. I'm looking forward to giving this a shot. It's definitely outside my wheelhouse, so I'm sure you're watching this at the end of the video, but hopefully I didn't embarrass myself too badly giving it a shot. This is Mighty Modern, everybody. I'm Corbin Hostler. Thank you for watching.